Okay, so last night had Anyway Into the Fire, which was a nice, tight tone, 2.5 hours. Then to WWE TLC, which, glad it wasn't 4 hours. You know, it was about 3.5 hours, give or take, not including pre-show. So I guess still 4 hours if you watched all of it. It still just felt just kind of bloated. So we'll get right into it. Ladder match between the Revival and the New Day. I was trying to figure out how this became a ladder match, what the storyline was behind it, and they're like, it became a ladder match on Friday. Okay. Good match. You know, they got good back and forth. Because they're two teams that work really well together. I will say the top rope slash ladder suplex onto the ladder, where Biggie wasn't able to fully hit the ladder and like hit it with like his arm and then fell down. This just looked really brutal and painful. Kofi looked like an athletic darling, but that's because he is. Big E, great job showcasing his overall strength. And New Day retained. Good match, solid opener. It's like, okay, well, how do we follow this up with? Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black just whooped the ever-living crap out of each other. Great way to do, you know, you go from like the four-person human car crash to two guys crashing with no cars. Lots of stiff kicks, lots of just big power moves. Thought this was a great match. Definitely worth the hype. But I do say Buddy Murphy needs to get a couple of good upper level wins to really galvanize himself. This is a great showing for him and a loss. But still, he needs that big victory. He needs something that really goes, yes, Buddy Murphy has made it. Viking Raiders had an open challenge match answered by the OC. Decent match. War Raiders retained. Here's a sad thing. Think back. This is War Machine versus Bullet Club. And the E has not built up the Raw Tag Team division at all. So this match, again, good match. There's just no heat to it. Really no reason for it. Just kind of is there. Then we follow that up with Roman Reigns versus half of the heels of the SmackDown locker room. Okay. I did like the callback of hitting Roman Reigns in the head with a full can of dog food. Because empty can would have been so much less impact because it would have crumpled. But then Corbin and Dolph Ziggler, who got involved, decided to beat up a random guy for some reason to give Roman the time to fully recover hitting his breathe button and then hit the drive-by, which then led the Corbin Royal Guard to come down and then attack him, which then led to the Revival coming down, then Zigzag, Shatter Machine, end up days onto a steel chair. Roman Reigns was defeated. And all it took was 4 wrestlers and like a half dozen other people. But their brawl continued because, of course, it has to. Bobby Lashley, Rusev, table match. But what they needed to do was just let Rusev just beat the daylights out of Bobby Lashley and then put him through a table. Instead, we got this long back and forth where Rusev decided to go get a steel guardrail and then hit Bobby Lashley. I'm like, wait, why do you need a steel guardrail? Why did you walk up the entrance ramp to go get a steel guardrail, to walk all the way back to hit him with a steel guardrail? You have chairs under the ring. Whatever you're going to do, you could do it with a chair or set up a table on the outside. Hit him with a chair, set up a table, and end the match there. So our ending, of course, saw Lana get involved and attack Rusev, who by this time was beaten with these sick-looking welts from kendo sticks. I mean, you can tell he got pinched on the back shoulder. It was just this thick mass just on his shoulder. It looked painful. So, of course, Lana gets involved, breaks Rusev's eyes. Lashley goes for a big spear, doesn't break the table. Then put with another table, and I was like, okay. Felt kind of pointless. Yeah, if this is your big blow off for their feud, I mean, just let the face go over. I mean, you already had a heel go over in your TLC match. You need to balance some of this stuff out a little bit. At least make some of the people go home happy with some of this. The Universal Oh, that's right. The Universal Championship match. Intercontinental. The U.S.? But the women's belts were on the line of the main show. No. They weren't. Bray Wyatt as Bray Wyatt versus The Miz. First time seeing Firefly Funhouse Bray. I loved the character beats in this. You can tell the crowd was confused towards the end. It was The Miz just beating the daylights out of Bray. Bray laughing. They did a spot where, of course, Miz goes for the arm breaker, which then makes Bray slam his shoulder outside to pop back in place. Not a lot of offense from Bray at all. It was pretty much just him egging the Miz on to do more and more. Just Abigail on the outside of the floor. Didn't get a 10 count. Another one inside the ring. Beats him. Crowd is kind of like, okay. Fiend appears on the Tron. Bray goes out and gets the comedically large mallet. Gets attacked by a dude in a hoodie who looks like newly baby-faced Daniel Bryan, because all of his hair is short now. Beat down angle there. He goes to use the hammer. Doom, doom, doom. Lights go out. Bray's gone. But the title is still there. Felt like as they were mapping it out that it would work a lot better than it did. But crowd was hot for Daniel Bryan. Good transitioning. Okay, we need to make Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt work in the Royal Rumble. So then Bryan won't be in the Royal Rumble, potentially. The crowd won't hijack it. The 2-week detour with The Miz was beautiful. And now seeing how Miz and Daniel Bryan will interact going forward, potentially, that's some good long story. Well, that's some long form storytelling if they go that route. So Kabuki Warriors versus Charlotte and Becky. This match felt like whenever you do a TLC match on one of the video games, it's just beat each other with chairs. It's like, I beat you with a table. Beat you with kendo sticks. Here's a cargo rope. I will say I liked the fact that we saw Kairi Sane using actual knots to wrap Becky Lynch onto the ladder, damsel in distress style. They tried to put Charlotte through a chair, office chair, and then put the kendo stick in between, but it didn't quite work out the way they wanted it to. So many table exploding spots. Just absolutely vicious match. Just everybody went through everything. But it also showed too the problem when you can only do 2 shots with the chair. One is the hand on the front, abdominal, flat across the back. You've got a chair and you're like, I have to wait for you to give me your back so I can hit you with this chair. Makes me go, I think Kendo's so much better in the PG era, because it's like, Kendo, I hit you anywhere, just not straight on the skull. So we saw Asuka powerbomb Charlotte off the top rope through a table. Similar to what Becky Lynch did to beat her at Evolution. But the real finish saw Becky Lynch climbing her way up onto the ladder. The ladder conspicuously had the rope tied to it. Asuka pulls the rope, which pulls the ladder, which makes Becky Lynch fall. Kabuki Warriors win. Okay. They end the decade by doing the first time of the women's tag belts being defended in a TLC match in the main event of the pay-per-view. I'm okay with that. A lot of this felt like we're not seeing a finish to certain feuds. We're just seeing a pit stop. And I don't know if it's because they're thinking, okay, well, we'll finish these things up either with the Royal Rumble, they'll work in the Rumble match, or this is going to be a lot of just filler stuff between now and the Royal Rumble. Maybe this leads to Charlotte versus Becky at the Royal Rumble, even though it should technically lead to Asuka versus Becky at the Royal Rumble for a rematch of last year. Maybe. I don't know. All in all, it's okay pay-per-view. I'm glad they didn't do, the full all the way up to 10 o'clock. But comparing this with Into the Fire, which was a just really tight, just boom, 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 just went right through it, you can really, really tell there's a lot of bloat with an E event like this.